Okay friends, Ram Man here. Here's some helpful information. If you're watching this video, you probably bought a disc brake kit, only available from me, never been done before, and quite rare. So, what we've got here is we've got our Dana 44, closed knuckle, big ball, right? Big old knuckle. This is basically the same size as the Dana 60 closed knuckle. They're extremely similar. Got one out there. This kit involves playing a little bit more games with our spacing and stuff than a standard 44, because we got a lot of clearance issues to deal with, and it is novel and extremely simple. This is like 8th, 9th grade level for me, maybe even before that. So it's not difficult. So what do we have here? We have a spindle plate, which I call it, caliper plate. It's fixed on the back by these two 1/2 inch by 20 by 3/4 low profile black oxide 5/16 high grade fasteners. See there? So it's put on the back side. See, our little spindle plate is even notched right there. Not a whole lot of rocket science there. Look, that one even says out for me, and that arrow means like new. So, before we put this on, first phase of our adjusting some spacing is, we're going to be using these exactly specific aluminum molded spacers. And I'm going to cut the fasteners down in half to speed this process up. And since we're spacing this out a little bit and we're holding our spindle down, I even include longer grade 8 bolts. Even though your factory ones basically would do the job, even with those split lock washers, I'll go ahead and send you some longer ones so you ain't Mickey Mousing around. No Mickey Mouse here. So let's go ahead and put this on. Remember, with this on the back side, aluminum spacers, longer grade 8 bolts. Kind of line this stuff up. Basically, we're putting this on in it's about the 11 o'clock position. There we go. I think I finally found my hole. Oops. Yep. So, spindle plate, caliper plate are attached using all of our factory holes. Now we have our bearing. But before we put our bearing on, because we need a little bit more spacing, we need to put our spacing bearing on. And our bearing spacer is quite thin. Quite thin. And even though we put on our great big old inner bearing, you'll notice that it's still right there on the edge of the machine surface for the bearing, so we still have that whole load capacity. Now, let's throw on our hub, big bearing, big spindle hub. There we go. Let's get it attached down with our spindle nut. I think you can see this is going quite well. This is not real involved. Doesn't take a bunch of grease monkeys to do this. Doesn't take a whole lot of supervision even. So, here we go. So now we've got our hub on, and right here we've got our 75 thousandths. We've got our machine bushings right here. So, our machine bushings $75, they go underneath our rotor. And one of the last or tricks about it is, see, our rotor has been turned out to fit over the hub. And this has to be turned out to fit over the hub. That's one of the machining. And then we also machine down the flange to about 170 that closer matches the drum. And we do this for a couple reasons. So it bolts right up and we get to run our factory hardware without changing a bunch of studs and banging studs and all that old bullshit. And so now we've got our big old rotor down. We'll take our 1/2 inch by 20 nuts and I'll show you. Like I said, we're not even dicking with the factory studs, which are kind of short to begin with. But even though we put down our nuts level, you'll notice that we still have, well, there's our 1/4 inch spacer. We still have about 350 thousandths to run underneath the full nut right there. So, anyway, let me finish wanking this down. So, there she is, all fastened down. There we go. Now we've got our large piston, heavy duty caliper. Goes up just like that. Caliper pin bolts go down, thread in. Remember, whoops, these ain't 5/16, these are 3/8, dummy. Well, they look pretty close. So, tighten these down, and voila, you're finished. A lot of people don't know about these GM calipers, so when you get them, however they are, you make sure that your bushings are pulled out. I'll show you. So I always go ahead and push my bushings out level, because that's where your 3/8 plate goes. It sits right down. And it needs to sit flush on the caliper. Are you with? So, and of course, checking for your clearance. Of course, you don't need to, but there's our outside pad and there's our inside pad. And if you'll notice, yes, we have just enough clearance. Slide our pad in, which means everything is bolted up exactly how it should be. So there you go, my friends. The only Dana 44 closed knuckle, big bearing, big hub, big knuckle disc brake kit on the planet Earth. I think you figured out that it's pretty simple and it's pretty quick. Ain't no all-day affair here, boss. You can do this in a 6-pack. Bye. God bless you. God bless America, and happy trucking.